It's a big, noisy universe of stocks out there. Welcome to Goodbye or Goodbye. Our goal to help cut through that noise to navigate the best moves for your portfolio. Today we're looking at the Magnificent Seven stocks. Of course, after falling under pressure amid AI spend concerns and the broad market sell-off, what's the best way to play it now? I'm here with Summit Global Investment CIO Dave Harden. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
So we're looking at the Magnificent Seven. Let's talk about the one that you like first of all, and that is Microsoft. Now, Microsoft obviously has had quite a run already, although it's come down along with the recent market sell-off here. And it's interesting because you pinpoint one of the reasons you like it is the strong earnings performance here, even though the market, reaction to some of these Magnificent Sevens was not necessarily so fantastic.
Sure. I think everybody wants them to be off the charts, right? Like what we've seen recently over the last 18 months and 1 year. But the reality is it still performed very well. It still outperformed earnings analyst expectations. So I think it really does show that the operation at Microsoft, the organization as a whole, is doing really, really well right now. And so we can't ignore that just because we have some high, lofty expectations.
And we can't talk about Microsoft without talking about AI and that opportunity, of course. And one of the other reasons that we did not necessarily see a lot of enthusiasm for the earnings is this AI monetization question, right? What is the return right now on this AI investment? How do you think about that question?
And I would say right now there isn't a lot of return, right? I think Microsoft has the biggest potential. How they execute on that and do they get the return they need, that's still yet to be determined. But if you're looking to invest in AI, you cannot ignore the opportunity that Microsoft has, right? And there is huge potential. And if everybody looks at the money that Microsoft is going to make in AI, I think they're underestimating that potential. That's why I like that stock.
Where do you think that biggest potential is, just quickly, within Microsoft?
Sure, it's in their Word and PowerPoint and Excel. This is used throughout business all over the place. And to be able to think if you were in a Microsoft Word document, instead of going to Google to search, you just search right in your document. What if you had, ChatGPT right inside that document? That would make it very powerful, and people would pay $10, $20 a month and switch their subscriptions right back to Microsoft.
Interesting. Okay, and then finally, there's the enterprise and cloud strength, which I guess is AI adjacent, but this is pre-existing anyway.
Yes, correct. On its own, it is strong, it's doing well, and it's continuing to build market share and do really well in that space. So those are three reasons why I really think Microsoft is a great buy right now, especially when you see some of the weakness.
Well, we have to talk about risks. We always do in this segment to this potential here. And, I think that there are some questions more recently about how this AI profitability runway is going to look. And perhaps that's a risk for Microsoft.
Sure. I think if you think about the AI for just a second, that is the opportunity, but it's a two-edged sword. It's their biggest risk. If that takes too long, if Google figures it out before they do with their product, or Amazon, et cetera, that's going to hit some real bumpy roads for Microsoft.
Okay, and before we move on to the stock that you don't like as much, do you own Microsoft?
I do.
Okay, so let's get to the one you don't like as much. That is Tesla. This, I have to say, is one of the least loved members of the Magnificent Seven right now, I think safe to say. And their core business is struggling. As we know, there's just not as much demand.
Yes, they have been struggling for a while. This is nothing new. We've had them on the, if you will, avoid list for some time now, over a year. And I think that's really important. We need to see some more opportunity there, and it's a crowded space. Others are doing really, really well. I know they've had some good sales with selling their truck, but I haven't bought it yet. And many of my friends haven't bought it yet. And the market analysis says I'm not the only one.
Yeah, that's more of a niche product, I guess.
Correct.
Well, we were just talking about AI with Microsoft. And of course, Elon Musk has famously said, if you're going to buy this company, you're not going to buy it for the autos. You're going to buy it for the other stuff, including AI. So
Absolutely.
Why aren't you buying it for the AI?
Well, I think they have a longer time frame. Microsoft can monopolize on that a lot sooner than Tesla. I think there's a good opportunity here, but I don't see they see the returns here for a good 6, maybe even 10 years. So we're looking in the 2030s for AI with Tesla. Now, I don't think very many people want to bet against Tesla. I just think that you don't go with it right now.
Gotcha. And then finally, there's Musk himself, right? And there's still these questions about his pay, even though that now seems to be by the wayside for the moment. But is that still some people say it doesn't matter. But I guess you think it matters.
Well, I think the reality is it's not necessarily his pay that bothers the normal person in the world, I think. I think it's his volatility. What is he going to say, and when is he going to say it? And let's just put it this way. I don't think any of us know what he's going to say and when he's going to say it. That creates risk to the average investor. And so the reality is we'd like him to continue to lead. We love his leadership, but in the sense of volatility, maybe he becomes a little bit more stable. That's hard to do.
Especially when he has a personal megaphone at another one of his ventures that he owns, X. Let's see, what could go right for, maybe he could, maybe magically he will change and he'll stop tweeting. Or we could see a pickup in EV demand.
Yeah.
What do you think is the likelihood of either of those?
Well, probably the last, right? So clearly, it's still a car company. At the end of the day, it has a ton of technology, but they need to sell vehicles. So if we see more sales for those vehicles, that's going to make me much more positive with Tesla.
Okay, and do you have any position in Tesla?
I do not.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Dave. Good stuff. And thank you so much for watching Goodbye or Goodbye. We'll be bringing you new episodes at 3:30 p.m. Eastern.